Hello, YouTube viewers. I am Sandalwood99, and this is the third video in my series of reviews of board games. This one is of Scamboozle. In this game, you try to become the Prime Minister of Canada by scamboozling, which means convincing others that your opinions are right and everyone else's is wrong. So, let's take a look. The players move as these little triangles that are sometimes hard to distinguish because a lot of the colors are similar, but that doesn't matter. So basically, you roll 1 or 2 dice, you move around the board. If you land on a number, you get that many points in that category. So there's green, red, and blue. And you're going to need a different amount of points of these to win the game. And the way I look at it is the different colors represent different demographics of voters that you need to gain support in. The other way to gain support is issue cards, which is the main heart of the game. This one right here is external affairs. So I would pick it up if I landed on it and read it to myself. It says, should Canada continue to contribute personnel to United Peacekeeping Forces? And I put it down, I wait, and everyone else makes their move as well. At the beginning of my next turn, I read my Scamboozle card aloud and begin telling everyone my opinion on it. And because obviously the game's political in nature, you're going to have disagreements. The game comes with a little hammer, scammer, which you can whack to keep order, but it doesn't always work because I have very passionately left-wing views, and I get very, very angry when people disagree with me. No, I don't, not really, but I do argue quite passionately. At any rate, as I was saying, so blah blah blah, I give my opinion, yes, 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 blah blah blah, United Nations does the right thing, blah blah blah, and then everyone gets to support or oppose me. And these are little voting cards that say support or oppose, and so everyone places down the card that corresponds to that. And then, if I get unanimous support in my opinion, I get to roll all 3 of these dice and get the points shown in each of the corresponding colors, red, blue, or green. If I get a majority support, then I win green and red, my opposers lose blue. If I get a majority oppose, then I lose green and blue, and my opposers win red. And this is all listed right here on the card. And if I get a unanimous oppose, then I lose all 3 of those points. So, the other thing, the red cards are scandal cards, which must be dealt with immediately. So, for example, this one says, you are arrested for chopping down a Christmas tree in a conservation area. Now you have to explain to your public why it was you were doing this. And then they have to support or oppose you, which is very difficult. Which is the first thing about this game. When it comes to the scandal cards, you kind of have to, when you're one of the other people voting, because most of the time you're not going to support what happens in the scandals because they're bad things. But I think the point of the game is that if they come up with a creative way to try to talk their way out of it, I usually support them. Like my friend once said, oh, he was arrested or there was a noise complaint about their loud party. And then he was like, oh yeah, do you want a stuck-up person to be the Prime Minister? Or do you want someone who knows how to party and relax and live it up? And someone who knows what the average Canadian does on a Saturday night is hang out with their friends and have a good time. And I'm like, you know what? That's kind of funny. I'd love it if a politician said that. I support you in that. So, that's the first thing. You keep going around collecting points, and then eventually there's a 1, 2, 3 ministry squares. If you land there and have at least 8 green, 6 red, and 2 blue points, then you can advance to this inner circle and become a minister. So then you draw one of these brown cards, and so for this one says, I am Minister for Health and Welfare, and you place that down in front of you. And now, from now on, if someone gets an issue card, look at that, for health and welfare, should syringes be distributed free of charge to drug addicts. they can instantly give it to you if it matches your ministry. Of course, you get the points if you get people's support on your opinion. And to become the prime minister, or the candidate, and you can continue moving around here. If you lose, if you fall under 8 green, 6 red, or 2 blue, then you go back out and try to collect enough points again. But eventually, you've got, once you've collected 16 green, 12 red, and 4 blue, and you've changed ministries at least once, at the end of a turn, you can declare yourself a candidate, and you just put your marker here, and pretty much chill for the rest of the game until another player declares themselves a candidate. And at that point, one final issue card is drawn. Are there minimum qualifications that an MP or an MPP should possess? And then one player, the player who became the candidate first, scamboozles their opinion. The other player scamboozles their opinion, and every other player votes on which one of those scamboozled the best, and that player is declared the Prime Minister. So, is this game fun to play? The answer is a resounding yes, if you play with the right people in the right mindset. I mean, this is not the game to play with your 9-year-old younger brother, or with people who are just going to make a joke out of it. You can laugh and have a good time, especially with these scandal cards, because they are very, 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 very funny sometimes. But you have to also know that if you get an issue card, you should give a legit opinion, not, oh, well, let's chop down all the trees and make it into a giant swing set for the Cyclops or something like that. I don't think that was stupid. Why did I even say it? But I don't know. You have to kind of give serious opinions, which raises one criticism. Do you have to know politics to play this game? Yes and no. Like, we got one question where it was, should income tax be lowered? And my one friend was like, well, what's income tax right now? And I was like, it's different depending on what income bracket you are. Well, just pick a number, man, and I'll argue if it's lower or higher. And I was kind of like, no, you shouldn't do that. You should just pick a side and argue it, because to be honest, when it comes to income taxes, you're going to run into the same arguments. It should be higher so you can afford the social services. It should be lower so that people can afford more goods on their own, blah, 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 and debated back and forth. So if you know some of the... if you have opinions on modern issues, you can play this game even if you don't necessarily know who the Deputy Prime Minister is, or who the Minister of Finance is, or things like that. I happen to be mildly knowledgeable in politics. So, it wouldn't be a problem for me, but some people it would. But I played this game, I only played it 4 times. 3 of the times were really, really fun, and I was laughing and joking, and there were some moments we were kind of screaming at each other where I was like, well, my opinion's right, blah, 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 blah. But, ultimately, when the dust settled, we were all laughing and having a good time. Although there was one game, I don't know what was wrong with us that night, but perhaps we had a little too much to drink or something. But it was just no one could focus, and everything became a big joke, and I ended the game after about 20 minutes because no one was taking it seriously, and I was like, we're not playing this game, we need to play something else. Something less, that requires less thought. I don't know. These pieces kind of annoy me, to be honest, because like I said, a lot of them look really similar, and it's hard to tell. Maybe that's just me being slightly colorblind, but I don't know, artwork, there's not a lot of artwork. The board's sturdy, functional, the cards are sturdy. Comes with a neat little hammer, which is a plus. I don't know. My copy came with this one little die that the rules may say nothing of, but I bought my copy from Value Village, so that may be why it came with this, because I don't think it's part of the game. I think they just left it in there. But, so, is it worth a buy? The answer is yes, if you have friends who will debate with you on things like income tax, on things like Canada's involvement in United peacekeeping missions, on things like legalizing marijuana, on things like abortion. modern questions. Um, which reminds me, the game was made in like 1992 or something. Hold on, let me find the year. Where's the copyright? 1992. Yeah, the game was made in 1992, which is why I was hesitant to pick it up. I was like, all the issues are going to be out of date. It's going to be asking me about things that aren't really important nowadays. But if you read them, they're really generic. Should the government fund a public transit system? Well, not that one, but could contribute to United Nations peacekeeping missions. Is it necessary for Canada to maintain embassies in other countries? How responsible should the government be for job creation? These are things that were important in 1992 and are still important in 2011, which kind of says something bad about politics, or maybe just something amusing if you're cynical like I am. But anyways, so the issues are, as far as I can see, still going to be valid for years to come, and a few of the issue cards say pick your own issue and Scamboozle it, which well, my friends always go, pot should be legalized, and then I'm like, yes, here, support, and it's pretty much a given. Yeah, that's right. My friends know that if they bring up the legalization of pot, they just know I'm for it automatically. Although, to be honest, when I play this game, I play some serious devil's advocate. I mean, there are people there. I mean, I have been in situations where my friends were saying things I completely thought and understood and agreed with 100%, and I'm picking out these. Like, one time it was, should the death penalty be brought back? And he was all like, oh, respect for human life, oh, it doesn't really reduce the crime rate, blah, blah. And then I was saying all the traditional arguments that people who were pro death penalty, I don't know what that's not really what it's called. I don't know, pro capital punishment. But, yeah. But even though I agree with the death penalty, I was arguing against him just because that's all part of the fun. The fun of this game is in the debates. It's not in the end destination of becoming the prime minister, even though I have won every full game I've completed. It's not you shouldn't be trying to land on the numbers just to collect the points and try to get in with as little issues as possible. The fun is the issues. The fun is the scandals. Oh, the scandals are beautiful. Like, here's another one. You are about to appear scantily clad in a national tabloid. Talk yourself out of that. You were seen purchasing sex toys. Talk your way out of that. I mean, amusing things that you have to talk your way out of. It's very, very fun. A friend of mine said, Cody, you have a politician voice. I talk one way, and then apparently when I'm debating, my grammar cleans up, and I enunciate more, and I become a lot more intelligent looking. But I've talked about this for quite a while, but in the end, if you have friends who are willing to debate you, Scamboozle is... You know what? I'm going to give it an 8.5. It's so much fun if you have friends who really are really into debating you. If you don't, though, if you really, really know nothing about, if you really don't give a hoot about where income tax is or anything, this is not the game for you. Like, my best friend, Brian Boucher, would not be able to play this game because he has no opinion on political issues. If there was a game about, basketball players, he'll be all over it. But political games that I love, would never play. So I feel like this game is made for people a little bit older than me, in their 20s and 30s, debating issues. But me and my friends, who are all around 17, 18, we like to play it too. So yeah, 8.5, Scamboozle. Really good game. Pick it up if you have the chance. Check your local Value Village.